What's up, guys? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Naval Histories with World of Warships Legends on Xbox One. My name is Nick, and today we are looking at probably one of the most badass battleships in the game, none other than the Colorado. Now, before we get started today, what I want to do is just kind of cruise around the ship and marvel in the detail that Wargaming has put into this ship. Not only did they get most of it absolutely correct, there's so much detail. I mean, here you can see the turrets, the secondary guns, anti-aircraft. I mean, the smokestacks are even black, for crying out loud. Not to mention, here you can get a pretty good view of the twin turrets and the 16-inch guns or 406 millimeters, whatever gets you off the quickest. Now, as we kind of take a look around the ship here, I'm going to start talking about some of the highlights. But before we do, let's see if that airplane will come into view here. I think it'll come. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We'll start, and then if it comes into play, I'll talk about it. There it is. So that is actually an exact replica of the plane that is launched from the Colorado, and its name is the Vought OS-2U Kingfisher aircraft. So it's almost an exact replica, and I can't thank Wargaming enough. They don't pay me to say it. Hell, they don't pay me at all. They don't, just for them to get the amount of detail there, I just really want to thank them. So, with that being said, let's get into the details. Now, the Colorado saw service from 1923 to 1947. She is the third ship to be named after the 38th state, and she's part of the last treaty of battleships. What I mean by that is essentially any ship built between the 1920s and 1930s under the terms of one of the many international treaties that followed World War I. And the Colorado was part of the Washington Naval Treaty of 1922. And that treaty was put in place to help limit or eliminate altogether the arms race in the naval arena. And really, it was meant to keep the powers that be at the forefront. And those powers that be would have been the British, the Americans, and the Japanese. Let's move on here. Oh, before I move on, she was also part of the Super Dreadnought class. Now, I looked around and I couldn't figure out what made a ship a dreadnought. I don't know if it's her guns or what it is. But if you know, go ahead and let me know, and I shall put it in the comments. Now, the Colorado comes in at a length of 624 feet 3 inches. Her beam or width from side to side, the thickest part of her, right, the meatiest, fattest part, is 97.5 feet. Now, her draft is 30.5 feet, or just a little over a double-decker London tour bus. Now, if you don't know what the draft is, and I didn't, I had to look it up, it's essentially how much of her is under the water. So 30.5 feet of her is below the water. Now, it's interesting because I realize that she's a big ship, but I hadn't really thought about it, that, you have all this stuff under the water. Now think, if you're on that boat, what is your main thought? Because my main thought would be, if we get a torpedo strike, it's going to be devastating, because all your stuff is below the waterline. Boilers, engine room. I've never been on a ship, but I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff. I mean, God forbid your kitchen is down there. Can you imagine that? Now, her top speed is 21 knots, and I think that's pretty accurate even for the game. I think the game, if I sail straight, which you never should in a battleship, especially not a top tier one, is about 19.5, 20 knots. Now, as stated previously, she has 2 pair of turrets in the front and the back, and those come in the 16-inch 406 millimeter shell type. And then there's her belt. Now, her belt, if you look, you can kind of see how she protrudes out towards the bottom of her hull. And that is called the belt. And towards the top here, you're looking at 8 inches, and towards the bottom, so towards the waterline, you're looking at 13.5 inches. Now that's going to be solid steel. And the reason that this is so important is because you don't want surface torpedoes or shells to go straight through the main components of your ship. The only problem with this, and the reason they stop using it now, besides the advancement of technology, is because you can't really have it below the water line very much, because it affects the buoyancy and therefore makes her less seaworthy. So, let us move on here. Oh, also an interesting fact. She came with 2 21-inch torpedo tubes, which they don't have in the game, but it would be interesting if they put it into the game, just because some of the other battleships, I think maybe the Japanese and the Germans, have them. Don't quote me on that, though. So with that, let's move into her history. Now, during the early part of World War II, she was stationed in Hawaii and was part of the Pacific Fleet. Following extensive training in wargame scenarios, she departed Pearl Harbor on the 25th of June 1941 and headed to the Puget Sound Navy Yard, which most likely saved her from the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. During her brief stay in Puget Sound, she had her original secondary guns switched from the 5-inch 51 caliber type to the 5-inch 38 caliber type. After the refitting, her main assignment was security patrol near the Golden Gate Bridge. However, she would soon see action in the Pacific. From 8 November 1942 to 17 September 1943, she would patrol the Fiji and New Hebrides Islands as a show of force to the ever-expanding Japanese Empire. On the 21st, 1943, she provided pre-invasion shelling for the invasion of Tarawa. Between October 21st, 1943 and February 23rd, 1943, she participated in the invasion of the Marshall Islands, the Kwajalein Islands, and the Eniwetok Islands. I apologize if I got that one wrong. After that, she would return to the Puget Sound for more overhaul and refitting. From May 5th, 1943 to July 24th, she shelled Saipan, Guam, the Tinian during pre-invasion attacks. During the shelling of Tinian, she sustained her first massive damage from 22 shell hits by Japanese shore batteries. And I'm going to post a video on that. Well, I guess actually a picture. I'll put the picture on here. Now, she would continue to provide fire, however, even after the shelling happened, the damage. After returning to the West Coast for repairs, she sailed to Leyte Gulf in support of that invasion. She was moderately damaged by 2 kamikaze bombers after only a week in theater. Upon receiving more repairs, she would continue to provide invasion support throughout the Pacific. One of her last major pre-invasion shellings was in support of the Okinawa invasion. She would maintain her position in Okinawa through the 22nd of May, with her main mission being anti-air support. Following the fall of Okinawa, she sailed to Japan for its occupation. Post-war era. After the war, the Colorado departed from Tokyo Bay on 20 September 1945 with a heading of San Francisco and then continuing on to Seattle. From there, she participated in Operation Magic Carpet and helped return 6,357 sailors during 3 runs to Pearl Harbor. On the 7th of January 1947, she was removed from the reserve fleet, and on July 23, 1959, she was sold for scrap. Before we get into the gameplay here, I want to take a moment and thank you for watching these videos. As a veteran, it's important to me that we understand that these ships aren't just ships in a game, they're part of history. Now, I understand that not everybody is going to care about the history, but It's very important to me, so that's one of the reasons I make these videos about the history, is just to kind of share and educate. So I hope that you as the viewer are enjoying them, because that's really what they're there for, is for you guys to enjoy a little bit of history and then to watch a little bit of gameplay as well. Now, one thing I will say is that if it sounds like I'm reading and I'm a bit robotic, it's history and I am reading. I pre-make a script about each ship so that I kind of know where I'm going and what I'm talking about. And especially with anything that's in the Pacific theater, some of that stuff is really hard to pronounce. And if you can't tell, I'm an American, but that doesn't mean that I can't try to properly pronounce things. So if I do butcher something, I do apologize. Leave it in the comments, and I will do my best in the future to better pronounce these things. Lastly, before we get into the game, I want to thank you guys for watching these videos. It's very therapeutic for me to create the videos, just because not only do I get to do a little bit of history, but I get to do something new, which is to create content, which I actually really enjoy. It takes a bit of effort and time, but the process to me is just really worth it, and it allows me to kind of step outside of my comfort zone. With that being said, if you've only come for the history, you can go ahead and stop watching. If you've come for the gameplay and not the history, you can start watching now. Either way, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so as promised, let's get into some gameplay. We're on Trident. It's domination. We're in the Colorado. Let's see what kind of havoc we can wreak on the other team. What do we have? The New Mexico. The Warspite. I wonder if those guys are in a squad. I wonder if that's how they have lower ranking people in here. But I guess we have a Normandy on our team too, so I always feel bad for the guys who are lower tiered, because they're at such a disadvantage, especially in a battleship. Now, you still have to respect the fact that they're a battleship, but if I'm going up against a New Mexico, I'm not too worried that he's gonna be an issue for me. But let's just see who we run into first. All right, we get spotted. Now, I am aware that they have... Ooh, hello, Warspite. What do we got going on here? Maybe if I could get my guns around fast enough. Warspite. Let's see, right there, maybe? Now, if you know me, I really need to work on my aiming. It's getting better, but it's definitely not there yet. Alright, New Mexico, I see you. I see you. Let's wait for these 16-inch guns to reload. Let's see if I can give you a taste of them. Come on, babies. Reload. 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 Who is that? What is that that's firing HE at me? You're gonna spam me with HE now? Fantastic. Alright, New Mexico, I see you turn there. Let's see if we can get you a little bit here. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's an Aoba. Well, I'm glad it's going that way, because I definitely don't feel like eating torpedoes this early in the game. Let's give him a little shot here. Come on, babies. Get down. Those look good. Those look good. It's not bad. It wasn't great. Could have been better, I suppose. The Bayhern's there. I don't really care about him. He's far away. Yes, please. More HE, thank you. Now, you notice he hit me in the belt there, so he didn't really do any damage. This Leon, though, that's a nice target. Let's see what we get him for. Come on, babies. Get down. What do we get here? You know what? That was a pretty good shot, actually. About 9,000 worth of damage. I like that. Hopefully they can get C done up over there. I want to see if I can get this Warspite. Let's see if I can get a shot on him. He's on fire. I like that. Let's see here. Do we get... I don't think so. I don't think I hit him at all. Let's give him another shot. Let's see what we got here. Come on, babies. I think I got points just because I shot at him. I don't think I hit him at all. You know, one thing I am doing here is I'm playing with my speed. I see this a lot that people will just sail full speed. They'll get up to full speed and they'll just sail around the map. And that is a great way for you to just go bye-bye. Now, some people may be thinking, oh, well, Nick, you're just sitting behind the island. You're not really doing anything. But that's not true. I'm actually making sure that the Boudier, I know I didn't pronounce that right. I got to get better with that one. And the New Mexico aren't going to push up. And I'm also going to use the island in hopes to bow tank this New Mexico because he's not pressing up. And I also want to make sure that I don't allow the Boudier, I don't know if that sounds terrible, I want to make sure that I don't give him the opportunity to just spam me with HE, because I have it where I have more damage, or better range I think it is, but I'm also 10% more likely to catch fire, so I really don't want to go up against him. Now, I have made a mistake here. This New Mexico, even though he's a lower tier, and I stated this earlier, I have to respect the fact that he is a battleship. And right now he is bow tanking me, and luckily for me, if I zoom in here again, you can kind of see his guns are not pointed towards me, so I'm not exactly worried about it right now. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to see if we can get a decent salvo. Come on, babies. Get there. 2 of them? We got 2 of them? Alright, that was good. 43,000 damage. Now he knows we're here, and I don't... Oh, yes. Oh, that was nice. Now obviously he knows I'm here now. His guns have... Oh, you know what? That was not a bad shot by him. Let's see if we can give him a little more of us. Now, his problem here is that he's trying to open up to get his back guns involved, and I get that, but it would honestly be better for him to just continue to bow tank me, because at this point, he's outmatched. He doesn't have any help. There's nobody that's really close enough to scare me from, just barely poking outside of the island. Now, I am a bit more broadside to him right now, but you notice that I'm playing with my direction, and he's also reversing. So he's gonna have a harder time getting his guns aimed on me. That was a shitty shot. Whatever. Like, my aim's got to get better, but it'll get better. But as I was saying, he's moving away from me, so he actually needs to aim up just a little bit, and I probably need to aim up a little bit more as well. We're just going to kind of sit here and continue to put shots on him. And he's on fire, which that kind of helps bring his health down. And this should be all she wrote. Come on. Come on, guns, reload. Let's get this off. Come on, baby. Get there. Oh, God, did I put those too far out? Oh my God. Whatever, that's fine. We still got the 52,000 in damage, and then a Citadel off him. Now, this Boudier, he set me on fire. I don't really care. I'm a battleship, and I have heals, so he can set me on fire all he wants. Now, one thing I see people do is they will chase these guys down in battleships. They will poke out from behind islands, and they will try to chase him down. I'm going to poke out, but I have no intentions of chasing him down. There's just no reason to. For one, it allows him to just continue to spam me with HE, and I'm not interested in being on fire the entire game. For two, what people will do is they'll poke out from their hiding spot, which, let's be honest, the island was my hiding spot, and they'll end up getting themselves into a position where they're broadside with other battleships, or whatever other class they're playing. Now here we're just gonna engage the Bayhern. I don't know much about him, and what do we got there? Oh, that was not bad. That was not bad. A 5,000 point shot. As you can see, the Boudier is really not an issue right now. This Bayhern's gonna go behind the island here, so we're gonna go in and capture B. It's still a pretty close game right now. It's 4-on-4. However, that Bayhern probably isn't going to be around for long. Now, this Leon is back, and I haven't seen him since he sailed across the map earlier, so I'm not really sure what he's been doing. I do need to be careful, though, because I don't want to give him a broadside shot. Now, I am going to be broadside, but slightly angled to this Bayhern, which I'm okay with at this point. At this point in my mind, it's more important that I engage the target and help the battleship that's to my right. You can kind of see him there in the bottom right of the minimap. Now I'm going to let this Leon push up on me. I'm still pretty much bow tanking him. I've tried to put myself in the best position I can for this Bayhern. So let's see. Let's have him come around. He's angled down a little bit. Let's see if we can get him. Oh yes, those look good. Come on, come on. What? Oh my god. Alright, well. Apparently that's how it is in World of Warships Legends. God, those looked like Davy Jones bullets. Like, send you to the bottom of the ocean. That's what that looked like to me. But apparently not. So, I guess maybe that's what they call that vertical dispersion. Let's see what these will give me. Come on, babies. Come on. Ooh, that looks good. I think, yes. Oh, 13,000 in damage. I'm alright with that. So now we're up to 72,000. We've surpassed our... Oh, thank Leon for setting me on fire. I appreciate that. I'm still going to take the Bayhern out. Well, at least I'm going to attempt to. What was I saying? Oh, 72,000. That's pretty good. I'm up and above my damage or my hit points for my ship, which is at 60,000. And with that, the Bayhern, good night. Have a good day. 8,000 in damage, taking us up to 83,722 for the game. And now we'll put this fire out, and really, we're just gonna help chase down this Leon. The York is out there, and basically just spamming HE. It's really all you can do as a cruiser with the Leon. The Leon, she's really not doing anything.
Problem solved, sir.
She's just kind of sailing away. I don't know. We have a term sometimes for people when you're in the military and they do silly things, or they don't really contribute. They call them mouth breathers. And I'm not saying that this guy's a mouth breather, but he may just be converting oxygen to CO2. But I could totally be wrong. He could have a plan. I don't know. I haven't seen him shoot at the cruisers at all. In fact, the cruisers, of course I hit the island. That's why you always make sure you know what's in front of you when you're shooting. Because I completely wasted shots there. As I was saying, though, he's not firing. I don't really know what he's doing. He's just taking up space. The cruisers are trying to torp him, and it's not working for them. So we're gonna try to get in on the party here. Yeah, let's see what we can do. I don't think that those are really gonna do anything. He's kind of turning. Measly 2,000 damage. Oh, and the York gets him in the end anyways. You know what? I'm happy with that game. Is it a killer game? No, but we end with 88,520 damage. Second in leaderboard, which isn't bad. The Nelson, he cleans up with 3,061 for XP. I had a lot of fun this game. I hope you enjoyed the history. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. And I will see you next time. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.